Hi, good morning. It is sometime in the morning, 7:37, Saturday, April 5th, and a baby boy is whining to go on a walk. Do you want to tell the people what's going on and do you want to go for a walk? Do we need to go for a walk? Right now? Okay. Hi. So we've just woken up, really. Sort of, not really. We've been up for a little bit. But I look like I've just woken up, right? I need to put on pants, buddy. I need to put on proper pants if I'm going to walk you. We're starting Evocation by S.T. Gibson today, another 25 of 2025. Cue the intro. You can see I have showered. It is now 10:15 a.m. We went on our walk. It did start to rain on us. Then I came back. I had some breakfast and did my morning routine stuff. What's my morning routine stuff, you ask? Well, number one, you take your meds. Take your meds. Did that. I have these all in Habitica, so it's a very normal thing. I also play the New York Times mini games with Fee. So Fee and I compete on these. I think I told you about it before, but we compete in 4 categories. We compete in Wordle, Connections, Strands, and the Mini. Those are the ones we do. Fee usually beats me in Connections. I usually beat Fee in Strands. Wordle and the Mini are up for grabs between us, I think, but I'm really bad at Connections. I'm a dum-dum sometimes. Then I check on Amazon, I check for free ebooks. So I have 2 lists on my Amazon that I've made. One is a KU book and one are non-KU ebooks. They're all both ebooks. And every day I sort the list from lowest to highest to see if anybody is having a free book that I can just quickly snag and throw in my library. I've also started posting this in the Discord. So if you're in my Discord and you want to get updates about when a book is free, if you are poor like me, I'll let you know. I'm starting to do that now. Then I go to NetGalley and I look at the audio arcs, because I'm going to try to step away from ebook arcs because I struggle so hard to do these on time and they just build such a backlist, and I'm faster with audio, obviously. So we look at the audio arcs, refresh a page to see what's new and if there's any ones that I want. That's kind of the morning routine. We get ready for the day and I make my to-do list with my spinner wheel, and that's where we're at. So I did start listening to Evocation, and it's interesting. I don't know how much I'm going to like this because it's already messy. It's like messy adult life, which I'm not a huge fan of in general. So it's kind of funny when people review books and they're like, oh, these characters feel so YA, they're so immature and young. I tend to like those more. I think maybe I'm just immature, even though I'm not young. And because these characters are, one of the characters is about to turn 30, and this is a key point in a like ancestral deal with the devil kind of thing. And he's in trouble, but he has a former lover who is married now. This is where I'm confused about the messiness, because 6 months ago something happened and Reese cut David's the main character, out of his life, and Reese is married to Moira. I don't know how long they've been married for or something, but apparently like Reese and David were still, I don't know if they were a thing or something happened where trust was broken or whatever, and I'm still confused about it. I don't know if I missed it in the beginning, but they just, so far I don't think they've said the thing that actually happened. But it feels messy. It feels like potentially cheating situation. I don't know, but that's a thing I don't really like to see in books. Now I'm being led to believe maybe, I don't know for sure, but based on the synopsis, like Moira and David are going to collaborate on something, because Moira's a very powerful kind of, I guess, not a seer, but a witch. and might be helping David with his issue more so than Reese will be. And so there might be like a poly situation. I don't know. That's just my initial thoughts on the matter in terms of the romance. David's the one in trouble. He apparently is also like a legacy in this secret coven fraternity situation. And Reese is not rich, I guess, is the thing. Like, there's definitely a class difference being pushed in this narrative, where Reese is very powerful. He's very ambitious, but he doesn't have the backing to get that. So that's where we're at. We're only an hour and a half in. Yes, hour and a half in, 14% done. So we're going to start up some laundry. Our main task of the day, I have a bunch of tasks, but the first thing I need to do before I do anything is clean my space, because I've been working and I haven't had time to clean, and it's driving me a little bit insane, and I can't focus if it's not clean. Who's squeaky squeaky? I'm going to go start laundry and clean. Let's do it. Room is clean. Laundry is still going. Laundry is going to be an all-day thing. I have about 3 loads of stuff to do, just because I was cleaning some blankets and stuff. But everything else is clean. I've cleaned my makeup brushes. I took out my trash, recycling, and we've swept, we've mopped, we've organized the desk so I have more space right now. There's actually room on my dresser for my work laptop to charge because it was almost dead. Yeah, so we're actually going to be able to start the day now. It's 11:53. But I can hit cleaning room is done. Ba-boom. And I've done dishes. So there we go. I now have my spinner wheel of tasks to do. Today's tasks involve updating my journal because I need to add the Our Fantasy bingo stuff. Making 3 things for Create a Camp. We are making the tracker, a banner, and the photos, the secret photos that need to be done. I need to get the scripts for Twilight, for the 17 scenes from Twilight, because I will be doing that tomorrow. By the time you see this video, it'll be long past. I have to do some shorts, some TikTok shorts and stuff. I've got to make the 25 of 2025 intros because I have it made once and I'm like, I don't want to do that again. So we're going to rapid fire just make the intros. Our task of the day is to write 1,000 words. So that'll be done during whatever writing sprint. I need to film my KU Mayhem video, which should be up before this one even. We've got to do some reading. Obviously, keep up with our reading. I need to package this Ko-fi order, because Polly Rooney, so nice of you to buy my latest bookmark. And I do at some point need to do a grocery run, because I need a few things at the grocery store, but I'm very low on funds. So that's my tasks. Those are my main tasks of the day before I can like really move on to anything else. I actually think I might leave off reading. Reading might be my reward for finishing all of those tasks. So I might take off all the readings. Sorry, it's got a thing. So I'm going to spin it until I get reading and then I can take it off. Oh, it did it the first round. Beautiful. Okay. So in total, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 things we need to do, but we also need to go have some lunch. So I'm going to heat up some lunch while we do this thing. We're going to do some Create a Camp stuff. Okay. Create a Camp photos. I need 7 of them because the fun little mystery thing is finding a mystery egg for surprises and stuff. So I'm going to make 7 of those. I'm going to need to open up Canva. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now while I heat up some lunch and switch out this battery. Okay, bye. I really never spoke about what I had read during all that cleaning. And I am liking it a bit more. It gave me a little bit more backstory, so I appreciate that. The problem for me right now, I don't believe Reese and Moira are in love. I feel like I'm being told. And I don't know. I don't believe it. The basis of their love story right now, of their marriage, is that like they randomly met and were doing a thing to discover who they were supposed to marry, like some spell that would show them. And it just hit off from there. And it seems like they were married very quickly. And I don't know. It just, it's hard when you're reading about an already established relationship. I have a hard time trusting already established relationships in books because more often than not, that means one of them is going to unalive. You know, something bad's going to happen to one of them. But this doesn't seem like that kind of story. I feel like Moira is a very established character in this situation. So I don't know how I'm really feeling about that. I like that we got a little bit more backstory in the fact that, okay, so David and Reese were a couple before. They were into each other before. But the rivalry might have gotten in the way of that, and they haven't actually been together for years. It's just 6 months ago something else happened, right? And there's like a toxic relationship going on, toxic friendship where Reese he feels like he can't really let go of him. That's why they've been doing this boundary. Still don't know why or what exactly happened. If it was like a specific thing or just a culmination, I don't know. But we've had a little bit more with the overall plot and Moira doing his star chart. He's in Saturn's return. And I'm like, am I in Saturn's return right now? Because boy, do I feel it. I don't know. Yeah, but I haven't been really listening since cleaning. I was catching up on some YouTube while making these photos, and I had a lot of fun. They're done now, and I feel sneaky. But I feel like they are, I think every single one, you can find them. So that's what's up. We've finished that. I just need to download them and get them ready for release. But otherwise, that task is done. We have switched laundry. We have had lunch. It's 1:32, and we're going to keep on trucking. I'm going to try to listen. I might watch a couple more videos because I'm just behind. Hi, this is about to be a very meta moment. I am editing. My next task that I got was to make all of the 25 of 2025 vlog intros, and that's what we're doing. And this is a 25 of 2025 vlog with Evocation, which is on the 25 of 2025 list. So we're gonna do this together, and like how kind of a little look of what I did. So let me get you a wee bit closer here, and I'll put it on the screen. So here's I'm exporting one right now, but I made this intro sequence during 5 Broken Blades, and I was like, that was a lot of work because I individually keyed in every single book that you see, and all of the books that come across the screen are a 25 of 2025. So that's 25 individual books keyed in at random moments for it all. I'm going to take a few seconds to finish exporting this one. Along with the text, along with the music, to make it work, right? So originally when I made this intro, like this intro is 31 seconds and 26 milliseconds, right? But like every single one of these, you can see every single individual one. Let me turn this down. Was individually put in. All the different keys to these are that. I don't know what it's doing. I have our base one that gives me the moments. I don't know if you guys can really see this very well, but we're going to take Evocation, which is right here, Evocation, and it starts here. Just make it longer, and I'm going to follow the lines, basically, of where it needs to be, the correct one here. We're going to scale it, so I'm going to use because each of these files is a different size, so I can't just use the same numbers for it. Okay, so this one's 31, whereas A Wilderness of Stars was an 18 on its scale. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to come back here, and this is my little bit, because it's still slightly moving when it's here. Here we go. There. And then when we go all the way to the back, make it go zoop, nothing. Delete the other one. Play this. Boom. That's it. Render. Render and then export. So I'm going to do that for a bunch more of these while listening to Evocation. And also getting my laundry because the final load should be done soon. Hello. We have finally finished the intros. It is currently almost 5 o'clock and I have finished laundry and I swept again. I don't know what it is. If it's just Paul or something, but dirt accumulates on this floor so fast, and I like to be barefoot, and now I can't be barefoot because all I'm feeling is dirt. Spring. Anyway, we are currently 63% done, and I was right in, I'm pretty sure I'm right that this is going to be a whole polycule situation. I don't know if I like it though. The thing about some of these characters, I just don't relate to them. I think I probably relate to Reese the most, but the thing with Moira's character, so Moira is Reese's wife, and it's hard to find any flaw in her. She's almost too perfect. Like, she's very understanding, she's very assured of herself, and she's like almost like she's understanding of Reese and David's past relationship and how they're likely still have feelings for each other right now, and so that's why I feel like it's going to be an allowed polycule situation. But we've had a bit of a cheat moment, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's just a trope, but in writing I'm like, I don't like that. It wasn't a big cheat, it was still a little one, but any form of it, big or small, is just, I don't like reading about that. Even if it's leading to like a polykill situation, she still doesn't know about what really went down just now. And now there's so a lot of spoilery stuff, but like Reese and David have been competing about something in this book, and one of them has got it, and so it's led to David, who has previously had an addiction with alcohol, to get drunk again, right? And that's led to this kind of argument over addiction and stuff. And Moira, it was just like talking like, oh, I've been lucky not to have any history with addiction in her family or anything, but it's just like she's just coming off as too perfect for the situation. I want her to have a little bit more flaw to her, because Reese is very flawed, David's very flawed, and I just can't figure out, I mean, is her flaw supposed to be that she doesn't, I don't even know. I can't even tell you what her flaw really is. Like, one of her flaws maybe was keeping it, not really keeping a secret, but she just didn't want to talk to anyone about like her ability to like see ghosts and be an empath of the dead as well as the living. And she just didn't really like talking about it. So it doesn't feel like a flaw. That was just a secret. And it wasn't even that big of a one, because it didn't actually cause any conflict for the group. And I don't, ugh. It's kind of annoying. Like, I need them to all equally be on the same footing for it to make sense to me. And that's my problem, is there's too much uneven. It's why I as a person, I could not be polyamorous. There's no way I could do that. So when reading it, it has to really, really, really convince me that it works. And obviously they haven't gotten to that point yet. Maybe it'll convince me, but I also just am not connecting with, and I'm not that I'm not connecting, because I'm very, like, the book is very good. I am very invested in the storyline. I think we are spending way too much time right now on the relationship stuff and not the whole my ancestors made a deal with the devil situation. And that feels like it's really gone on the back burner, and we don't have much time left in this book. We have 3 hours and 50 minutes left. So really an hour and 42 minutes ish is what it says. That's not always accurate. So yeah, I'm just kind of annoyed with them because they have the dumb adult problems that I don't like reading about. Life is already depressing enough. I don't like having to read about like nitty gritty things like this messy, messy stuff that's usually all about allosexual people. And this, I'm just like, I can't relate to this. Like, annoying that way. I just want us to focus more on the rest of it, because I feel like the relationship is mostly all the ways that things are happening for any of them. We're just being told and not being shown of the care and the love and stuff. So I think that's where I'm having the most problem, is I don't really believe any of them are in love with each other at all, because we've just been told about a past history, and then told that these two are married, and then told that, like, I'm frustrated with it. I was really looking forward to this one, and I'm just frustrated with how it's just not going deep enough into what I like to read. It's still good. It's still very, like, obviously it's S.T. Gibson. It's a good book, but for me personally, in terms of my liking what's happening necessarily, that I don't like. But, objectively, yes, good book, good story, if you are okay with these types of characters, which I'm just like, I don't like this type of character. Okay, I'm going to continue on. We're going to work on the Create a Camp tracker next. I kind of already half started while I was exporting and stuff. So this is just a standard one. You guys can color in your own eggs, basically. I'm going to do a few other styles for people, because I know we have a lot of different thinkers and a lot of different ways that people do things. So this is just going to be standard fill in the eggs. We're going to do a couple of designs though. Okay, we are back from our training walk, and he did pretty good. He's learning it. I started using a clicker with him just because I wanted to see if it would be a little bit more effective with him. And he's kind of like, doesn't really know what it is yet. Need to do actual clicker to clicker training, but he did pretty good. He met some people. He met a little girl. And he was a good boy. So, a little shy at first with the little girl. But he's doing better now. So, anyway, we are now 74% done with this. And so we've had the reveal of Moira finding out about the kiss. And again, handles it perfectly well. Like, is it odd for me to find the biggest fault is the character is a well-adjusted, emotionally competent person? Like, that frustrates me because I can't name a single person in my life who's as emotionally intelligent as this character right now, and making me upset. I'll say they're not a true, love triangle as people are trying to define it. They are, in fact, a love arrow, but not in the sense of there being strife between the rivals. I guess the love triangle right now is that they both love Reese, but they like each other as friends and stuff. So that's kind of how the polycules were. It's that thing in Parks and Rec with April in the first season where she's like, he's my boyfriend, but he's gay for this guy, but we don't like each other kind of thing. It's that situation, which is really hard for me to not wrap my head around. Like, I get it, but like, I would never be okay with it. I'm too insecure. So, not that I'm in any kind of relationship at all, but if that were a situation, that would be a deal breaker for me, big time. So, and that's why I will be single forever, guys. I'm going to make these trackers and continue listening. But again, we're dealing more with the relationship issues than anything. Although we've gotten to a part in the point where now, again, spoilers. Sorry for spoilers. Reese, who has become the new head, is going to ask David to be his second and convince him to do it, even though it's like the consolation prize, basically, because they were both up for the same part. So like, he has to convince him to do this with him, and they're in that conversation right now. So we'll see how this goes, but I feel like the plot really shouldn't be focusing on so much of the relationship. That's kind of my big hang up right now. Again, not a bad book. I gotta start talking about what things I actually enjoy about this book. Like, the writing is really good. Okay, I am very invested. These characters, for the most part, are very believable. I just don't like them. They're believable. The world building is really good. I like how we have, I don't even know if necessarily we needed to have this as a secret magic society when it seems so ingrained in the story that this could have just been a very normalized thing in the world, because David is also a lawyer, I guess. Don't know why. Well, maybe it'll come into play with the contract. Maybe that's it. But they haven't talked about any of this stuff. And like, yeah, we're 3/4 of the way in, and I'm feeling like the big climax is I just said I was gonna talk about positive things. Okay, positive things. Magic, very good. Good world building on this. Good, like, I like the boundaries we're setting. I like the way that things are working. I like the whole scene with the house and how the house is, how she's reading the house and stuff, and interacting with very haunted situation. I love the connection. I love how they're building these relationships. Even if I could never be in that relationship, I do think that for these characters, it's working in how they're building it and how the friendships are growing, at least. It's just hard for me to let go of the established relationship trope and how it is doomed. This isn't doomed. It doesn't feel doomed unless something horrible happens at the end. I don't know. But I think it is very well crafted in that way. I'm trying to be more positive with my reviews. I think we're all really good at just finding negatives in things when it's like, no, this right now is a minimum 4 stars right now. It's a 4-star book. Unless it suddenly like pulls out a bunch of like racist and homophobic slurs or something with the main characters, that would take it down a lot, but I don't think it's going to do that. So I'm like saying this right now is a 4-star read for me. Okay, I'm going to get to work on this. little bit. We're still kind of not doing much, but at least the plot has finally started plotting into the direction of the plot I was most interested in. So that's it. We gotta spin. We're gonna spin now. I gotta work on the banner for Create a Camp. Back into Canva, here we go. I won't film it this time because the battery's gonna die, but that's your update. Hello, we have finished Evocation. And I've been sitting here kind of mulling over everything. The more I thought about it, the more issues I started to have. I really have the problem of not believing the throuple, you know? I just wish Moira had been flawed, a little bit more flawed. Every 2 seconds it was just constantly both of these men praising her and calling her goddess. And I mean, I did like that we had a good arc in the relationship between David and Moira and becoming actual friends. I liked that. But Moira was just always like okay with everything, like just accepting of everything. And it's so hard, like, yay, girl boss. But also, if it just felt like her character was not, I don't know if it wasn't fully fleshed out but something irks me about her character and just the way that it's presented in this, because I feel like at the forefront of this story, it is the rekindling of the relationship between David and Reese. And like, it could have just been that, but David and Moira, not even Moira, Reese and Moira have been married for 5 years at this point. And I don't believe them. I don't believe. I was always just told, you're told that they're in love. And I wasn't really finding any reason that they would be into each other. There was no connection for me. And maybe it's just because when I read romance and stuff, I prefer to see the falling in love. Like I said, I don't trust established relationships because I don't get to experience the pining, you know, the whole like journey of falling in love is what makes me believe people are in love in literature, at least. And so when you have an established one, it needs some conflict, and maybe that's what it is. There was no real conflict for Reese and Moira. There was their own internalized, it was always, and mostly just Reese's internalized stuff. And it was Moira pushing him to almost be a cheater, which he was. He and Reese definitely cheat on her at one point, even though, yeah, it's just a kiss, but it was definitely cheating. And I don't like that she was just okay with that for the most part. Like she said at one point, one of the lines was like, she had 3 different emotions and stuff. And she's like, I'm not mad at you right now. But I'm like, we never saw her be mad. We never, like, she should have been able to lay into him about this. She should have had the space to feel the full range of emotions when your partner cheats on you. Even if you, like, psychically knew this was inevitable or whatever, like, you can still be upset about that. And I don't feel like she ever got the space to be upset. And I think she just deserved better. I think that's what I'm not jiving with this as much as I wanted to be, because she deserved to be much more involved in like the plot of everything, in the whole journey of everything. I just felt like she was there to make the appeal of the throuple, but if Moira did not exist, nothing really would have changed about this book, I think. Yes, the ending would have needed to be tweaked a little bit, but I think you could do it without her, and that's not great. because I want her to be purposeful in this book. I want her to have more meat in the story. And I feel like there was just so much going on for Reese and David that she kind of was a sideline, you know, she got sidelined in this. So that's where my most of my frustration is with this book. But again, I'm giving it 4 stars because I was so invested in this. I was very much invested in the overall plot and the world building. I could visualize this very well in my mind, but it's the Moira stuff takes a star away from me because, like, she deserved better, you know? That's where I'm feeling with this one right now. So anyway, that was Evocation by S.T. Gibson. We are now 3 down on 25 of 2025. More to come. And hopefully by the time of the next vlog, I'll have figured out what setting works best and where positioning works best with this little microphone. I'm so sorry in the interim. Okay, I'm going to go now. Bye.